The hunt for the Spino was well and truly over, as if I carried on like this, we would never be able to take on Helena's tasks in defeating all of the Arks before taking on Rockwell's final form aboard the Genesis simulations. This change in pace had me ending the day as my most lucrative for sure, as I will be ready to face the Overseer in no time. At least I hope, but not without the most nail-biting tame that I have ever had. After a completely wasted day yesterday, today I was on a mission, wasting no time by jumping onto Frostbite and flying off towards the volcano in order to mine up some crystal. Starting off the day with a drop, I didn't get much other than some rare flowers, but after gathering up all of the crystal, I flew back home, crafting up some glass walls in order to make up a small greenhouse, in order to farm some veg for taming and maybe kibble or other dishes later on. Thanks to the help of one of the parasaurs, I gathered up all the seeds needed, fertilizing the soil before planting out citronelle and rock carrot, meaning I was already ahead on my tasks today, so after building some more trap structures, it was time to set off in search of my new army. My first stop this time would be towards the snow, hoping to find a strong pair of woolly rhinos to face off against the Obelisk Guardians, something I'd never actually tamed before. On this search, I noticed that these might not be too hard to tame, as they didn't even seem to aggro to me when I was nearby. And to make things better, I was finding great drops, including a Basilo saddle, an Anki saddle, and some nice flak leggings. But this is where one of the most intense tames I've ever done took place, as I spotted a trophy rhino amidst a fight with the Argies and Carnos. I flew in, doing all I could, trying not to hit our soon-to-be tame, and as much as I fought them off, more and more kept coming, but luckily, we were too strong for them. Once it had finally settled down, I set down my trap and we were ready to lure this guy in, so I fired a Trankin hoping it to run straight to me, but it knew better than that, avoiding the trap and nearly knocking me out with its horn, so instead, I took Frostbite and decided to lure it in on the back of him. The rhino once again knew better, and although it did follow me in, I placed down the walls, trapping them in, but as it turned out, they had trapped me in, and Frostbite was not looking great as they were constantly being horned. This was looking grim, and I thought I was about to lose our RG, until I suddenly had a stupid idea. I hopped off the back, picking up one of the walls, and somehow jumping back on Frostbite, flew us both out before sealing it shut behind with the rhino still inside. How I did this, I don't know, but I won't complain, as this beast would soon be mine after tranking them out and feeding them some berries I just gathered. So much for the veg I'm growing back home, right? With the male down, I was looking for a female now, and I spied a red drop that contained some riot boots and an assault rifle, and also some metal structures. So not too bad, until finally spying a breeding mate for my new rhino. Or at least, I thought so, until a pack of direwolves chewed through it right after I knocked it out. I tried to take them on, but they were much stronger than I thought, almost ending me, but this would prove fatal as I flew over the cliff, spying a perfect female for me. There was two of them facing off against Daedons and Carnos, and although I had faith, I wanted to get in there and help them out. And with the little amount of health I had, I managed to take out the Hell Pig, but the Carnos bleed was pushing me too close to losing Frostbite, so I had to pull out, and in doing so, led to me losing that rhino, which I wasn't best pleased about. I flew around for a short time, allowing my RG to heal up from some of the Megaloceros around, until it was finally time to collect my new tame. I picked up the trap and flew around searching still for a female, and in doing so, I found a female baby, which I did have to fight off Argies and the parents for. However, eventually, we now had 2 rhinos to breed up for the army, and with that, I headed home to drop everything off. On the way back, I crafted up some more new tech, a dino digitizer prototype, to help collect my dinos and store them in the balls quicker. Back home though, I crafted up a rhino saddle and I had to try this guy out. And I have to say, I was insanely impressed with this guy. The speed, the damage, it actually stunned me. That's crazy. I was so happy that I managed to get this, especially as it took on a Bronto, and so soon as there was still plenty of time in the day to get more. I hatched some more berries and there was nothing to note as of yet, but I cleared some space around the base when I was ready for the full breeding, and feeling so confident now, it was time to head back out to the redwoods to find more creatures to tame to aid with the bosses. My first lap around the redwoods was in search of a Spino, just in case, but seeing none, I went around again looking for some Thylacolios. The only issue with this, I now had to fly through the redwoods, keeping an eye on the trees and ground. Whilst doing so, I remembered about the treasure map that I stumbled upon, so heading over to it and getting Microraptored, we were able to take them out and dig it up. But the loot was awful, really not worth it. And so I carried on in my search, finding nothing but weak Thylers and a beefed up Rex that made me second guess not taming an army of Rexes. However, no matter how far I looked, there was none around, and therefore I moved over to my final option, the Dire Bears. This honestly was a great idea, to look for multiple creatures, as soon enough I spotted a strong looking bear. So after setting up a trap, getting them inside and being attacked by a Thyla, I was able to get them knocked out. Once again, we were on the hunt for a female, so as I left the male to tame up for now, nothing. I was not able to find anything. However, upon arriving back and collecting our new tame, not far from there, I spotted another bear, but even though they were also a male, I knew I had to do the same, trapping them in just about after Frostbite had taken an absolute beating and then knocking him out. Flying around the area, I spotted a female, but for now, I had to wait as I had no more traps on me and I needed one to make sure that I got them. However, it didn't take too long and soon enough, we were once again trapping and taming our final bear. However, a Diplo decided to get in the way, pushing me around, stopping me from being able to place down my trap, and so I had to take it out. This led to me losing the bear, having to pick up everything I placed and chase down our female. Eventually, I did get it though, tranking it out, and before long, all creatures I needed today were tamed up. We were getting close to breeding up armies to take on the Guardians of the Arks, so I flew back home to get things prepared. Now, if I was going to be breeding at base, I knew that I had to close off the area, so I built up more gateways until their only way through was swimming around, before cleaning up my base entirely and placing all unneeded dinos in storage to make way for the armies. After a little more hatching of eggs, I got a mutated Barry with a green underbelly, and to celebrate my day, I took out the rhino one last time. Whether it was a good idea or not, I charged headfirst into a pretty tough Alpha Raptor, and we had a fight, if you could call it that, as they were almost unable to hit me, and before long, we were victorious, which I can honestly say left me feeling extremely confident with the rhinos. What do you do after such a great day on the island though? Why, I banged my drums of course, whilst finally hanging up a map I had found in a drop to make it a little more homely, and it was at this point that I decided to call it a night. If you'd like to see me record these videos live, then make sure to check out my streams right here most Wednesdays and Fridays with some occasional weekend streams. These are weekly videos that will follow this story. And don't forget to hit that like button if you want to help this channel grow. I really do appreciate it all. And finally, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any more of the content here. And I will catch you all in the next one.